Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. This is Home Care Queen TV, and I'm your host, Muriel Melville. Let me apologize for what just happened. For some reason, I thought I pushed my mic on button, but I did not, and I sincerely apologize for that. So now, let's talk about this evening's episode. Tonight, we're discussing how do I change a caregiver that's not a good fit for my family? So let's go back a little and recap. So, in our introductory episode, I spoke about when do we know we need a caregiver, how do we plan for a caregiver, the different tiers of caregiving slash home care providers. We talked about the salary. We talked about the interviewing process. And we talked about choosing someone. So you have chosen someone, they've been working with you for a couple of weeks, but you notice that there's a pattern. And there is a pattern that is not sitting well with you, whether it's the way the individual speaks to your family member, whether it's the way they hold them, change them, whatever the situation is. This is not sitting well with you. It's now making you uncomfortable. And it's making you doubt yourself about this individual. Now, let me first say that things happen. We truly don't know someone. They present well, they present well, experience and skills aligns with your needs. However, the behavioral side of the care is not comfortable for you. The first thing I would do after I've settled that this is not what I expected, I would call my caregiver, offer a cup of tea or some water once the family member is either resting or is visiting with someone, and I would address it in a calm, non emotional way. And when I say non emotional, I mean unconfrontational. You're going to sit with the person and you're going to say, listen, you're doing a good job, but I don't like the way you are. And you be specific. I don't like the way you speak to my family member, or I don't like the way you hold her, or I don't like the way, whatever the situation is, you're going to be precise and you're going to share it with the individual. After you share it with the individual, which is your caregiver, you're going to watch her body language and her response. If she comes off to be very arrogant, sorry, but there's no other way to put it, or defensive, then you know that this individual is not ready to grant your wishes, that they have the skill set, but they're not ready to listen to the things that can be seen as a little, but if it's not little things, if it's affecting you. Because if you don't address it, you become hostile towards the person. It's just human nature. So once you address it and the individual gets to the point where they're not hearing you, they're just defending. What I would suggest is that during the hiring process we always interview more than one person. So say there was a second runner up, and the issue was, which is one of the most common issue with home care, whether it's private or with an agency, distance from their home to your home, traffic situation. So if it was a matter that the second runner up lived 20 miles away from you, but the person you chose only lived 5, both of them seem to have equal skills, equal experience, but the distance was the only reason why you chose this one. I would reach out to that individual again. And I would just say to her, I would like to revisit our conversation about caring for my family member. Are you still available? I would also suggest that you don't bring up the fact that you hire someone and it didn't work out. Because let me tell you from experience, that's the worst thing you can say to a caregiver. No one wants to be second choice. No one wants to be second best. I would just say to her, are you available for a second interview? And when you meet with her, you say to her, I've been thinking or I've experienced that this could be an issue in caring for my family member. How do you address someone that constantly rings the bell or calls? And you tell them they call 3 or 4 times within an hour period. You give real life scenarios and you say, how would you address that? And you listen to the person. Then you add your wishes. You say to them, that sounds good, but I would like if you're gentler. Do you have an issue, with just staying with them? When they call a second time, probably you could stay with them a little longer instead of leaving to do something. If you're going to leave to do something that is not an immediate care for the individual, could you spend a little more time with them? Now, let me share this from experience. Because as I said before, I've had years of experience doing this. And what I've always done is if I have someone that calls a lot, when they call me the second time, I would spend a little time with them, sit on the bed or sit on the chair or sit next to them. And I would say to them, do you know what today is? And it's a holiday. Today's the 4th of July. People are out shopping and barbecuing, and you develop a conversation with the person. And that allows you to spend time with them. But the bigger part of this is it allows them to change the behavior because maybe they just need a little more time spent with them. And with you being able to sit there and change the mood, offer them a glass of water, say, would you like to walk outside? It's nice on the patio. That will minimize that constant need to have you there. Because remember, you're paying the individual to do the things that you're not able to do. Pardon me, to do the things you're not able to do, and you're not able to sit with them constantly. But this individual is there between 8, 10, and 12 hours. So that's a part of care, sitting with the person, giving them the attention that they desire. Now, after you have done and you have sealed this deal again, you both agree the person is available and you'd like them to start. I would ask the person, can I get back to you tonight with a final decision? On time. You don't say a final decision and just leave it. You be specific. a final decision and time because you don't want the person to leave thinking, this person is not serious. So I came again to meet her, and she has to no for a final decision and time, because if traffic is the issue or childcare is the issue, you're going to tweak. If you needed the person to come in at 7, you're going to ask if they could come in at 7:30. So you be specific with them, and you said, I just want to see if 7:30 will work for us instead of 7. That individual will leave you very confident that you're going to hire them. Now, when you get back home, you don't say to the person sitting there, I can't use you anymore, which nobody does that. I can't use you anymore. I've just hired someone. I've never experienced anybody being that rude. But what you do is at the end of the assignment, you take the person and say, can I have a few minutes with you? And you say, you know what? You always accentuate the positive. You said you are very skilled. You your work aligns with the need of my family member, but I addressed the issue of how you speak to my family member, and I noticed that you started to change and then you went right back into the behavior. So I don't think this relationship is going to work. But I need you to know again that you're a very good worker. I just need this specific thing for my family. Now, you do not, or I should say, do not. I would suggest and I would encourage that you do not mention to the individual that you have hired someone, because you want them to leave feeling whole, even though they're hurt. They're hurt because they're human, but you want them to feel leaving somewhat, well, at least you said I did a good job. And you're hoping that their behavior will improve on the next person. So you're leaving them in a good space. Whether they believe it's a good space or not, you know it's a good space because you have done your professional best in severing the relationship. When you have gotten some time by yourself, then you call the next person and say, I think 7:30 will work well for us. So it's a pleasure. I would like to have you care for my family. And I would also encourage you again not to mention that you just let go somebody. Because just like how you don't want the person that leaves to feel defeated by you, they're probably going to feel defeated because they just lost a very good job. But you did not do that. You pointed out the issue and you encouraged the person, and you also let them know that they did well with your parents. Likewise, you don't want this person to come and go, oh my God, I wonder what they did, and be on pins and needles. You want the person to get in there and be their best for you in a comfortable environment. Okay? So, in dealing with someone that's not a good fit, you have every right to make sure you have the best person possible to align with your needs and how you wish to be treated. Before I end, I must say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all those that have been sharing and liking and ringing that bell. I appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you take to watch my videos, because I know you could have been doing something else. So I don't take this for granted. So again, I thank you so much. And remember to like, share, and subscribe as you have been doing. If you are not in need of a caregiver or a home care provider, there's someone in your circle that does. This has been Home Care TV, and I am your host, Muriel Melville. Good night.